Welcome to episode 171 of the Twim Show. This is your host Sajid, and today I'm going over the notable news and updates in the digital marketing world from the week of July 24 through 28. So, today, first off, we have, let's see, what do we have? My thing is not working. Seems like the. Oh, there we go. Uh, First off, we have quarterly updates for this week. As you know, if you've been following our show, I like to cover the revenue updates, not quarterly updates, quarterly revenue updates from all the big platforms that are listed, such as Google, Microsoft, LinkedIn, and everyone else. It's that time of the quarter, so Google has announced their revenue, so did Microsoft. And one thing, really matters is that, how these platforms are spending money and growing money. So Google's reported strong quarter earnings for Q2 2023. Their revenue was up, ad revenue was up 3.3%. Google has other business entities such as, cloud computing and, Google Business Suite, things like that. But we don't really care about that. We look at how much revenue are they generating from the ad portion of the business, and that also includes YouTube. And seems like they've done a pretty decent job over there. So that increase YouTube ad revenue was 7.6 billion, up from 7.34 billion in 2022. So it's a little bump, but it's still growing. So it looks like Google will probably going to double down on that a little bit in Q3. Microsoft ad revenue was up 8%. So they did much better than Google. I think Google's ad revenue was up 3.3%. Microsoft is slowly gaining growing grounds, and I think that's coming at a whatever at Google's price and whatnot. And obviously, over there they have Bing and LinkedIn, and LinkedIn ad revenue didn't go up a whole lot. They basically see a lot more revenue coming in from talent solutions, right? So that's something you need to keep in mind. And LinkedIn, what I was looking at the numbers is like they have about 202 million active users in the US. I mean, overall, LinkedIn is saying they have about 980 million. I don't really look into, other regions yet, because this is a show that's focused primarily for the US market. So 202 plus million in the US, about 22 million in Canada. The other thing is LinkedIn is saying they have a 22% increase in views of updates in the main feed year over year, 25% increase in public conversations in the app. Newsletter creation has gone up by 10x, and I can say yes, it has, because I'm connected to quite a few people, and I get notified about, oh, such and such has created an app, has invited you to follow. I'm like, man, I don't want to follow yet another link newsletter. I have enough information that I want to focus on, I want to read. There is a gap of how much I can read in a given day. Not a gap, I mean, there is only so much time I have left to how much I can read in a given day. So I'm just like not going to go sign up yet another newsletter just because that person is connected to me. Okay. What you really want to know is, if for LinkedIn, you want to probably look into LinkedIn audience insights to see if your audience is already on LinkedIn and how they are kind of working. And this was actually a good update, and this is where I believe in, like, sometimes we know things and we forget or we overlook, but things like this show where I look at the revenue numbers and I just comes to me because, obviously LinkedIn kind of promoted that information again, and just, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So I had forgotten about an audience insight. We are kind of getting ready to launch a campaign for a client. So when I look at that, I was like, holy cow, I have overlooked this. Maybe we should tell our team to kind of look into LinkedIn audience insight to see if there's anything we can glean, and probably we should think of LinkedIn marketing. But not that we're going to jump into it, but I'm just saying that's one thing I had overlooked or forgotten, and now LinkedIn's revenue numbers reminded me. Okay, let's jump into Meta. Meta's ad revenue was up 12% in Q2. And so that's a big number, right? If you compare Microsoft and Google's, Meta's is up Q2, and they're roughly at 31.5 billion. And then impressive growth in user engagement. Facebook's daily active user count increased by 5% to reach 2.6 billion. So Facebook seems like a big, thing. I mean, obviously, Facebook includes Instagram and now obviously Threads, which kind of seems to be dying. But it's still a big number. There is a lot of opportunity there if you can, obviously advertise and convert people over. Uh, Facebook also has WhatsApp. I've forgotten about it. I'm looking at my show notes and I'm like, why did I forget that? So WhatsApp saw 7% in year over year rise in daily active users, totaling 3 billion. Wow, that's bigger than Facebook, and I can see that why. I use WhatsApp on a regular basis. There are a lot of groups on WhatsApp, and in WhatsApp now you can record videos as well. They're putting ads, thinking of ads, or they're putting ads in WhatsApp. I think WhatsApp for Business solution is there. So WhatsApp is a pretty strong ecosystem. Okay, hope this gives you some idea of what opportunities lay out there, what you may have to do, what you don't have to do, things like that. But again, we are not a CFO show where we're going to break down the numbers and drill deeper to see, how efficiently these companies are running, if we should buy their stocks or not. That's not what it is. It's all about, hey, here's what they're reporting. Their people seem to be spending more. I mean, this is July, end of July, early August, and obviously, holiday season is coming up. It's like 3 or 4 months out. So, there is Halloween, then there is the Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and then obviously the Christmas season. So you want to start thinking in those directions right now. Next up, Google, since we're talking about ads and everything, Google has announced, dynamic search ads and Google display ads, advertisers should upgrade to Performance Max. Again, this is just an announcement. Whether you do it or not, up to you. Google's like obviously pushing it. They can auto create assets, and there's a lot of things you can do. I am not 100% sold on Performance Max yet. That's just my personal opinion. However, it is worthwhile for you to try it out if you have the budget. If you have tiny budget, stay with it, and if DSA is working for you, go with it. Especially for GDA, I wouldn't mind using Performance Max. I would definitely try it out and see what kind of results you get. Okay. Next up, oh, this is good. TikTok text posts, a new way to express yourself. Remember, if you listened to last week's show, and I was like, why did Facebook or Mark Zuckerberg go out and create Threads, and why not take the features of Threads and put it into Instagram? What's working? And rather than creating yet another app and kind of taking people away, why not build that capability into Instagram? Well, looks like TikTok is going that way. So it's just that's what TikTok text posts are. Is Let's see what it says. It's up to 1,000 characters long and can include images, stickers, and hashtags. So, yes, theoretically, you can create a text post in Instagram where you could just go in and, create it in Canva. Let's just use that as an example, put a text post, images, things like that, and then you can download it, upload it back into thing. Or you could just Instagram could just give us a option where you could just create a text and put a background image if you like, and then off you go. So it's all about creation, right? I'm not saying, again, I'm not going to deep into it, but it just seems like, much easier from, what TikTok is doing. And I'm quite sure the guys at Instagram and at Threads are scratching their heads like, how can we combine these two? Why? Because Threads seems like a very duplicate of Instagram with just a couple of features that are not in Instagram but are in Threads, if you ask me. Unless if Threads, again, I don't want to go deeper and I spend too much time. It's just like in a competitor to Twitter. Twitter has its own stronghold, but hey, what do I know? But just so that TikTok text posts are coming. TikTok is already rolling it out, testing it out, and let me know or check it out and see how it goes for you. Okay, moving into the land of Google, Google Merchant Center changes email support. What that basically means, Merchant Center is a free service that allows businesses to manage the product listings on Google Shopping. Now, Google has launched customer support features on Merchant Center, which allows you to share details of your customer support and in returns policy. So this basically means when someone is on Google Shopping, they don't need to leave the site and go check it out. Hey, should I buy from this merchant because I don't know what the return policy is, what their customer support policy is. It's just in one place. It's good. You should use it. If you don't use it, that's up to you. If you need to see how to use it, it should be very, it's easy. The step-by-step process is in the show notes. Check that out. And talking about AI and Merchant Center, Google is cracking down on AI generated, automated and AI generated reviews. This requires you to use obviously structured metadata. If you are getting reviews and you think they are automated generated, they're spam, you should use the is underscore spam attribute and flag them to Google. Or if you're getting like a lot of unrelated reviews from haters and whatnot or bots, you can actually also flag them to Google. The actual steps are, let me see, it's in my show notes. It should be in the show notes. It's just a Google form. You can sign in and you just submit to Google saying this is spam. Please take it out, and Google is going to review it. And then if it sees it's spam, it's going to just go ahead and delete it from you. Right? It helps. I mean, it's a good feature. And Google expands site name support for subdomains. Before, Google would probably, if you have a subdomain called, marketandgrow.com, oh, sorry, if you have a domain called marketandgrow.com and then you have a subdomain called blog.marketandgrow.com and you want the subdomain to, when someone goes to that or in the search results page, should show up as Market and Grow blogs. In the past, it worked, it didn't work, it was confusing, and Google is like kind of fixing that. We talked about that a little bit of domains and how site names show up in last week. So now what Google is saying that you should obviously use the there is a, let me see, what is it? There is a you need to set structured metadata to say indicate the preferred let me see, uh, what's that structured metadata. I'm traveling and I am not very well organized for this. I apologize for that. Yeah, so basically you need to use a preferred site name to an alternative name, alt name, for your structured, for your site. Yeah, alternate name. I apologize. I should have highlighted, I bolded it so that it's easier to find. Alternate name property should be set through structured data. So that way Google has a way to know, okay, this is what you want, and it has to be short and concise. The link to the structured, the website structured data, I'm going to be it's in the show notes. You should take it out, and that kind of tells you what's the best way to indicate a preferred site name to Google. Okay, it's very, very important. If you don't want people to if you don't want people to mess it up, your structured site name, or Google to mess it up as well, and you don't want people to get the wrong site name. Question about AI is, are .ai domain names good for SEO, right? There are two kinds of domain names. We've talked about this in the past. There's a global domain name and country specific domain names, extensions, TLD extensions. Okay, globals are, global levels are basically .com, .net, .org, .biz. It's not country specific. It could mean anything. You could be located at marketandgrow.com. It doesn't say which country it is associated, with. Like now .co, .uk, .ca, .ai usually means it's country specific. And Google usually uses those kind of information to say, oh, this is a UK based company because it's a .co.uk, and .ai usually means let me see, I don't want to mispronounce this, Anguilla, and Anguilla, right? And the island of Anguilla is .ai, but however, everybody is using, .ai these days. You see so many companies coming out, tech companies coming out, because they do with artificial intelligence. They say, oh, we're going to use .ai. So Google is saying you can use .ai. We are not going to specifically tie to that island of Antigua because, obviously, we kind of realize people are training that. However, using that does not give you any leverage over SEO. And that's what Google is coming out and saying. You can use it because it's short, it's easy. You could just say mag.ai, which is basically means probably it has something to do with AI. People would probably perceive it as that way, and probably it's easier to remember. But Google is not saying, look, there is no benefits just because you have a .ai in the thing, right? Whether your website ranks or not based on quality of your content and number of backlinks you have, right? That's what Google is kind of saying. Or maybe it's me saying how many backlinks you have, but Google is saying there's nothing. It's all about helpful content. Okay. Google also publishes the list of CCTLDs, which is country specific extensions that you could probably see and see which ones you should use and which one you shouldn't, up to you. But just so that you know, you can use .ai domains, but it doesn't really give you any benefits over SEO. Okay, last one for this week is Google's John Mueller is saying programmatic SEO is spam. Programmatic SEO is like this type of SEO involves creating large numbers of low quality landing pages that are designed to rank for specific keywords. And obviously, I've seen quite a few Instagram reels and Facebook reels and TikTok videos where they say, here's how we create thousands of content every day. We go to Answer the Republic, we get pick up things, we get keywords, and we issue this command to ChatGPT or some AI, and it's going to spit out content, and we're going to put it on our website. Mueller is saying, look, this is a junk. Programmatic SEO is often used to target hyper-specific keywords such as songs about dogs, maps of school. These keywords are often not very competitive, so it is easy to rank for them with low quality content. And Mueller also warned that programmatic SEO can lead to penalties from Google. He said that Google is trying to get rid of this stuff, and this is not something that they want to see in the search engines result space. Now, what does this mean? Yes, you can get away with this for now, but the hammer is going to drop in the future, right? And then overnight, you're going to wake up and you're going to see your ranking has gone down, your traffic has gone down just because Google has dropped the hammer. And now you're panicking, you're crying, you're complaining. Well, you've been forewarned. And we have seen this. It has happened with a lot of different other, cheap tricks that people have employed in the past, or site owners have employed in the past, and thought Google would not catch hold of it, and they did, and then they got burned. So, folks, be careful with that. This is the last update for this week in marketing. I will talk to you all next week. Take care. Bye bye.